Hello everybody, today is Tuesday, March 5th, and I have some videos to show you and a couple of announcements. Apex is extended their sale for another week or so. It's 80% off, but renewals are only $35, so take advantage of, not renewals, but resets. Take advantage of the $35 reset. I have 3 charts to show you today. Hit my goal 3 times, one of them had positive slippage. I hate to admit, but I blew up 2 accounts before this happened, and that was earlier in the day, and the reason I blew up those accounts is because I was not patient. And so I wanted to discuss one of the most important things about using the Autotrader is being patient to wait for times in the market where your entry is likely to produce a result. And I recommend highly that you trade and execute on one chart, that you get used to trading one chart for your execution and look at other charts for guidance. In other words, when you trade a smaller chart for execution, you can get in the trade a little earlier. Now that may not work for everybody. You might prefer trading a larger time frame and entering on that, and a great way to do that is the horizontal trend line. But I don't trade the Superenco 12 by looking at this. This is just too much. It's too much action going on. But what I am looking at is I'm looking at a 15-minute chart for the bigger picture. I kind of called this area here. I kind of had a hunch it was going to sell off down here to this previous low, and then it tested this low, which was the low of the 29th. And so note that this is where prices stop. When you see these tails on a 15-minute chart, they are areas of consequence. So begin to study a 15-minute chart. I believe it's worthwhile. Whenever you see these tails like this and this, and on the upside here are some tails. You know, there's always the stop runs are clear to see once you start looking on a 15-minute chart. So going back another day here, again, here's a tail, and then the market went above it. And then, you know, when you get these failures here to go higher than this, that's, you know, those are all clues that the market wants to go lower. So a 15-minute chart can be really helpful. Now, not only do I look at the 15-minute, but I look at a 3-minute and I look at a 1-minute. And I don't make a trade without looking at these charts first. And there's a reason for that, because the 15-minute gives you a good day trading big picture, and of course I'm looking at the core, looking to see, you know, where prices failed. Our new swing high and low indicator is really helpful, I believe. It really does a great job. A lot of good trades can be made at the break, you know, when that indicator plots these kind of lines. If you get a failure, it's usually going lower. Like this, it broke above, but not that much. And then it failed and it went back here, and then of course it broke here, and there was a solid move down. And then when it broke here, well, this was the run up into the close. But anyway, I look at a 3-minute and then a 1-minute to really dial in my entries. So looking at your 1-minute here to look at the core on the 1-minute, you get a better idea. And I like to look at the tick. You have to pay for the data to get the tick, but the 1-minute gives me guidance for the trade. Now, I want you to look at the BWT trend indicator on the 1-minute chart here, and the probabilities of, you know, getting a run given the right setup or the right entry. Like even here, this was difficult, but if you entered way down here, you'd have a good trade just back to the top of this bar. Again, you've got a lower low a lower high, but then a double bottom is a higher low actually, and then the market went up from here. And anyway, you got to learn to read the price action in conjunction with the bigger picture here. And so the 1 minute chart can be very helpful. There was really good volatility today, and after I blew a couple of accounts, I kind of got a hold of myself and watched the market a little bit, and then I jumped back in and I was on point. So let's take a look at the charts I did trade. Okay, so the first one was right after the 3 o'clock hour, and I immediately drew down about $300. I got stopped out. I was right on the direction, but I got stopped out, and then I went long again, and it dipped down to the same spot, and I was stopped out again. So 2 times in a row, I entered right at the same spot, but if my stop was a little bigger, and also patience, I would have not got stopped out of this trade here. Anyway, nevertheless, I had 2 losers, and then there was a winner. I made it almost back, and then it went long again. Actually, went short here, and that was a loser. But then, when it turned blue bars again, I went back in, and I kind of figured this was 3 higher lows, and I entered a couple more contracts on the horizontal trend line, and that paid off, and I hit my goal. This is an Apex account, and of course this is the same template. It's a $600 target with 2 contracts, and this is Trade-Evade. So this traded pretty flawlessly with multiple contracts. That was another thing I was testing today, was Trade-Evade instead of Rhythmic. Okay, so here's what was happening on the 1 minute chart, and what I was looking at is I thought the market was making a low right here. The first trade was at 1501 bar, and that is this blue bar, and where I got fooled was going long in this blue bar, and then these 2 pullbacks got me stopped out, and then I entered this trade at 1502, and this is the 1502 bar, more like probably halfway down here somewhere. And that worked out pretty good, even though this pullback, I took the short, but then this was this big bar up here, and then that was it. I hit my goal. Okay, the next chart, again, a couple of losers here, but I only drew down about $125. In the beginning here, I was playing this chop, just putting a horizontal trend line entry and then putting in the exit up here, and I was 3 for 2 on that. No, I was actually 3 winners and 3 losers here, and ended up down, and then finally caught this short right here, and that was a pretty actually sizable move. So from 854 down to 43. It was 40 ticks, but I was on 4 contracts. So, all right. So here is the core at the 1509 bar was here, and I got caught in this chop, and then finally this move down 1512 was right after this bar here. Finally caught this big bar down. By then I had this confidence, whether it be false confidence or not. I decided to take one more trade, and that turned out really well. I had a small loser here, only drew down about $50, and then caught this long, which was at the 1524 bar, and that was this blue bar up right here. This was 1525, this was 1524, coming off this low here. And you might say I was lucky to get this, because after this the market pulled back and then rallied hard into the open, and by that time I was done. That was it. 3 charts. So this move happened really quickly and hit my goal with positive slippage. Again, these are all the same template, 600 with 2 contracts, That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.